My name is Daniel, and what my daughter told me that night. I did not believe her. She looked scared, her hands were shaking, and she said only one thing. Dad, don't trust Mom. I laughed at her. I thought she is just angry, maybe she is wrong? Because how can I not trust my own wife? But later that night, I opened one small drawer in our bedroom, and what I found inside, it completely broke me. Everything I believed about my family was a lie. So please, stay with me till the end of this story, because what I saw, no father is ever ready for that. And before we continue, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments which country you are watching from. I really love to see how far these stories are reaching. I'm 42 years old, and until a few weeks ago, I thought I had a normal life. Not perfect, but stable. The kind of life most people would look at and say, yeah, he's doing okay. I worked a steady job as an insurance agent. Nothing exciting, but it paid the bills. My wife, Laura, worked part-time from home. And we had one daughter, Emily. She was 10 years old. Smart, quiet, and the kind of kid who noticed things most adults ignored. Our house sat in a calm neighborhood. Clean streets, friendly neighbors, nothing unusual. The kind of place where people waved at each other in the morning and locked their doors at night out of habit, not fear. From the outside, everything looked fine. But if I'm being honest, things between me and Laura had been off for a while. Not in a big dramatic way. No fights. No shouting. Just distance. She stopped asking about my day. Stopped laughing at the small jokes I used to make. Stopped sitting next to me on the couch. At first I thought it was stress. Life gets busy. People change. That's normal, right? So I ignored it. Because sometimes it's easier to pretend everything is okay than to ask questions you might not want answers to. Emily, though, she noticed. Kids always do. She started spending more time in her room. Quiet. Watching. Listening. And every now and then I'd catch her looking at her mom in a strange way, like she was trying to figure something out. I didn't think much of it. Until that afternoon. It was a Tuesday. I remember because I got home earlier than usual. My last client canceled, so I decided to surprise them, maybe take Emily out for ice cream or something. When I walked in, the house felt quiet. Too quiet. No TV. No music. No sound from the kitchen. I called out, Laura? No answer. Then I heard a soft voice from the hallway. Dad. It was Emily. She was standing halfway out of her room, like she wasn't sure if she should come out or not. Hey kiddo, I said, smiling. Where's Mom? She didn't answer right away. Instead, she looked behind me, toward the front door, like she was checking if someone was there. That was the first moment something felt wrong. She's upstairs, Emily said quietly. I nodded. Okay. You want to go get ice cream? Usually she would have jumped at that. But not this time. She just stood there. So, silent. Then she slowly walked toward me, step by step, until she was close enough to grab my hand. Her fingers were cold. Dad, she said. Her voice was barely above a whisper. Don't trust Mom. I froze. For a second I thought I heard her wrong. What? I said, half laughing. Hey, what kind of thing is that? But she didn't smile. She didn't laugh. She just shook her head. I'm serious, she said. You shouldn't trust her. Now I was confused. Emily, did you guys have a fight or something? No. Then why would you say that? She looked down at the floor. Then back at me. Her eyes, they weren't angry, they weren't upset. They were scared. I saw something, she said. That sentence, it hit different. What did you see? I asked. She hesitated, like she was deciding if she should tell me or not. Then she leaned closer and whispered. I wasn't supposed to. A cold feeling moved through my chest. Emily, what are you talking about? Before she could answer, we both heard footsteps upstairs. Laura. Emily's hand tightened around mine. For a second I felt her almost pulling me, like she wanted me to leave. But it was too late. Laura appeared at the top of the stairs. Oh, you're home early, she said. Her voice sounded normal. Too normal. Yeah, I said. Client canceled. She smiled. But it didn't reach her eyes. I noticed that. For the first time. I really noticed it. Emily quickly let go of my hand and stepped back. Like she didn't want her mom to see us like that. That bothered me. A lot. How was your day? Laura asked, walking down slowly. Fine, I said. Then I looked at Emily. She was already backing toward her room. Hey, I said. We were just about to go get ice cream. Emily paused. Looked at me. Then at her mom. I'm not hungry, she said. And she walked into her room, closing the door quietly behind her. That wasn't normal. Not for her. I turned back to Laura. She okay? I asked. Laura shrugged. Kids get moody. You know how it is. Yeah, I knew. But this didn't feel like that. This felt different. I tried to shake it off. Told myself I was overthinking. Because what kind of father believes something like that about his wife? Just because his kid said one strange sentence. So I let it go. At least, I tried to. That evening everything felt off. Dinner was quiet. Emily barely spoke. Laura kept checking her phone. And I kept noticing small things. Little things that didn't make sense. Like how Laura would look at Emily, not with anger, not even annoyance. But something else. Something careful. Like she was watching her. Like she was making sure Emily didn't say something. That thought stuck in my head. And I didn't like it. After dinner, Emily went straight to her room again. No TV. No games. Nothing. Just silence. I sat on the couch, pretending to watch something, but my mind kept going back to her words. Don't trust Mom. Why would she say that? What could she possibly have seen? I looked over at Laura. She was sitting across from me, scrolling on her phone. Calm. Relaxed. Like nothing was wrong. But now I wasn't so sure. Around 9 p.m. Laura got up. I'm going to take a shower, she said. Okay, I replied. She walked upstairs. And a few seconds later, I heard the bathroom door close. Then the water started running. I sat there for a moment, just thinking. Then I stood up, slowly. I don't know why. Maybe curiosity. Maybe something deeper. Maybe. I just needed to know. I walked quietly down the hallway. Stopped in front of Emily's door. Knocked softly. Yeah, she said. I opened it slightly. She was sitting on her bed, hugging her knees. Hey, I said. Can we talk? She nodded. I stepped inside and closed the door. Earlier, what you said, I began. She looked at me immediately. Like she was waiting for this. You meant it? I asked. She didn't hesitate. Yes. My heart sank. Why? She looked toward her bedroom door. Then back at me. Lowered her voice. Because I saw what's in her drawer. I frowned. What drawer? She swallowed. The one she keeps locked. Locked? That was new. What are you talking about? I asked. Emily leaned closer. Dad, she doesn't know I saw it. My chest felt tight now. What did you see? I asked quietly. She opened her mouth. Then stopped. Like she was scared to say it out loud. Emily, I said gently. You can tell me. She looked straight into my eyes. And whispered. It's not what you think Mom is. The words hung in the air. Heavy. Unfinished. And in that moment, for the first time, I realized something. Maybe. Just maybe. My daughter wasn't lying. Maybe she was trying to warn me. And I had just started listening. I didn't speak for a few seconds. Emily's words were still hanging in the air, heavy, uncomfortable, and impossible to ignore. It's not what you think Mom is. That sentence kept repeating in my head. I looked at her carefully. Emily, listen to me, I said softly. You need to tell me exactly what you saw. She shook her head immediately. No, I can't. Why not? Because, if she finds out I told you, she'll be really mad. That hit me harder than anything else she said. Not sad, not upset. Mad. My own daughter was afraid of her mother being angry, just for telling the truth. I lowered my voice even more. She won't know, I said. I promise. Just tell me. Emily looked unsure. Her fingers were gripping the edge of her blanket tightly. I didn't mean to find it, she said finally. I was just looking for my charger, in her room. That sounded normal. So what happened? I asked. She wasn't home, Emily continued. She went out, and I thought I could just go in quickly. I nodded slowly. Then I saw the drawer, she said. The locked one? She nodded. I've seen her open it before, but she always makes sure no one is around. That alone made my stomach twist. Do you know what's inside? I asked. She hesitated again. I didn't before, she said. But that day, it wasn't fully closed. My heart skipped a beat. So you looked inside? She nodded. Just a little, she said quickly. I didn't touch anything at first. I just looked. I leaned closer. And? Her voice dropped to a whisper. There were pictures. Pictures? What kind of pictures? She swallowed. Of you. I blinked. Of me? She nodded. Not normal ones, not like family pictures. Now I felt something cold move through my chest. What do you mean? They were printed, she said. And some of them looked old, like taken from far away. I frowned. Far away. Like someone was watching you, she said quietly. That didn't make sense. Emily, that's not. I'm serious, she interrupted, her voice shaking. They weren't normal pictures, Dad. I stopped talking. Because she wasn't joking. She was scared. Real fear. What else? I asked slowly. She looked down. There were papers too. What kind of papers? I don't know, but they had your name on them. My name. Now my mind was racing. Like what? Bills? Documents? No, she said. Not like that. Then what? She took a deep breath. They looked like notes. Notes? She nodded. Like someone was writing things about you. I felt my throat go dry. What kind of things? She looked up at me again. Where you go, what time you leave, what time you come back. I froze. That didn't sound normal. Not even close. Emily, are you sure? I asked carefully. Yes, she said without hesitation. How long were you looking? Not long, she said. I got scared. Why? She paused. Then said something that made my chest tighten even more. Because I heard her car. Laura. She came back. What did you do? I asked. I closed the drawer, fast, but it didn't lock properly, Emily said. Then I ran to my room. And she didn't see you? I don't think so, she said. I leaned back slightly, trying to process everything. Pictures of me. Notes about my routine. A locked drawer. None of this made sense. This wasn't normal behavior. Not even close. Emily, I said slowly. Why didn't you tell me before? She looked down again. Because I didn't know what it meant. That was fair. She's my mom, Emily added quietly. I didn't want to think something bad about her. That line, that hurt. Because it sounded exactly like me. I had been doing the same thing. Ignoring signs. Avoiding questions. Choosing comfort over truth. But now things were different. Did you touch anything? I asked. She shook her head. No, but what? She hesitated. Then said it. There was something else. I felt my chest tighten again. What? A small box, she said. What kind of box? I don't know, it was black, and it had a lock too. Did you open it? No, she said quickly. I didn't have time. I nodded slowly. And you're sure this is all real? You're not imagining things? She looked straight into my eyes. I'm not lying, Dad. There was no doubt in her voice. None. And that's when I knew. She believed every word she was saying. Which meant, either she was telling the truth, or something was very wrong. I stood up slowly. Okay, I said. Emily looked at me nervous. What are you going to do? I didn't answer right away. Because honestly, I didn't know. Part of me wanted to walk upstairs right now, open that drawer, and see everything with my own eyes. But another part of me, the part that had been married to Laura for 12 years, was still hoping this was all some kind of misunderstanding. Maybe the pictures had an explanation. Maybe the notes were something harmless. Maybe I was just overthinking. Dad, Emily said. I looked at her. Yeah. You believe me, right? That question. It mattered more than anything else in that moment. I took a deep breath, then nodded. Yes, I said. I believe you. Her shoulders relaxed slightly, like she had been holding that tension the whole time. Thank you, she whispered. I gave her a small smile. Stay here, okay? Where are you going? I glanced toward the hallway. Just thinking, I said. That wasn't the full truth, but it was close enough. I stepped out of her room and closed the door quietly. The house felt different now. Not quiet, not peaceful, but heavy, like something was hiding just beneath the surface. I walked slowly toward the stairs. Each step felt louder than usual. Above me, I could still hear the shower running. Laura was still in there. That meant I had time. Time to check. Time to see the truth. Or destroy it. I reached the top of the stairs and paused. My heart was beating faster now. This was the moment. The point where everything could change. I told myself one last time. This is probably nothing. But deep down, I didn't believe that anymore. I walked toward the bedroom. Opened the door slowly. Everything looked normal. Bed made. Lights off. Nothing out of place. But now I wasn't looking at the room like a husband. I was looking at it like someone searching for answers. My eyes moved around carefully. Then they stopped. The dresser. Third drawer from the top. I didn't know how I knew, but I did. That had to be it. I walked closer, slowly, quietly, like the drawer could hear me, like it was waiting. I reached out, my hand hovering just above the handle. For a second, I hesitated, because once I opened it, there was no going back, no pretending, no ignoring, just truth. Whatever that truth was. I took a deep breath and grabbed the handle. But just as I was about to pull it open, the sound of the shower stopped. I froze, completely still. Water stopped running. Silence. Then, footsteps. Laura was coming out. My heart started racing. I quickly stepped back from the dresser, trying to act normal, trying to look like I wasn't about to open something I wasn't supposed to. The bathroom door opened. Steam filled the hallway. And a second later, Laura walked into the bedroom. She looked at me, standing there, too still, too quiet. "What are you doing?" she asked. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were sharp, watching me, carefully. I forced a small smile. "Nothing," I said. "Just looking for my charger." There was a pause, a long one. She didn't move, didn't speak, just stood there, studying me. And in that moment, I realized something. She didn't trust me either. And whatever was inside that drawer, it wasn't just important. It was something she was protecting. Something she didn't want me to see. At all. And that only made one thing clear in my mind. Emily was right. Something was very, very wrong. That night, after Lily hugged me and went to her room, I didn't sleep. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, listening to every small sound in the house. The ticking clock. The soft hum of the heater. The faint creak of wood as the house settled. But what I was really listening for was something else. Something I couldn't explain. Lily's voice kept repeating in my head. "Don't trust Mom. Kids say strange things sometimes. They imagine things. They misunderstand things." That's what I kept telling myself. That's what I wanted to believe. But there was something about the way she said it. Not scared. Not confused. Certain. That's what stayed with me. At around 2:30 in the morning, I finally sat up. I couldn't lie there anymore pretending everything was normal. Because deep down, it didn't feel normal anymore. Not at all. I got out of bed slowly, careful not to make noise. The hallway was dark, but I knew every step. I walked past Lily's room and paused. Her door was slightly open. I gently pushed it. She was asleep, hugging her stuffed rabbit, her face calm, peaceful. I stood there for a moment, and something inside me tightened. Because kids don't say things like that for no reason. Not like that. Not with that kind of certainty. I closed her door quietly and walked toward the living room. The drawer. The one Lily mentioned. I stood in front of it for a long time. Just looking at it. It was nothing special. Just a normal wooden drawer in a side table. We kept random things there. Old bills, pens, keys, small stuff. I had opened it 100 times before. And yet, that night it felt different. Like it wasn't just a drawer anymore. Like it was a line. And once I crossed it, things might never be the same again. I reached for the handle. Then stopped. My hand just hung there in the air. Because opening that drawer meant I didn't trust my wife. And that thought hit me hard. Emily and I had been married for 9 years. We built a life together. We had Lily together. We shared everything. Or at least, I thought we did. I pulled my hand back. "No," I whispered to myself. "This is crazy." I turned away. I went to the kitchen, grabbed a glass of water, and stood there trying to calm down. But even as I drank, my mind kept pulling me back. Back to that drawer. Back to Lily's words. Back to that feeling that something wasn't right. I put the glass down, walked back, stood in front of the drawer again. This time, I didn't hesitate. I opened it. At first, everything looked normal. Pens, old receipts, a charger, some random papers. I almost laughed at myself. "See," I muttered. "Nothing." But then, something caught my eye. At the very back, a small black notebook. I frowned. I had never seen it before. And I knew this drawer well. I reached in and picked it up. It was light. Simple. No label. No name. Just plain black. I opened it slowly. The first page was blank. Second page, blank. I flipped a few more pages. Still nothing. I was about to close it when I noticed something. The pages in the middle looked slightly thicker. Like something was hidden between them. My heart started beating faster. I carefully flipped to the middle. And that's when I saw it. An envelope. Thin. White. Tucked neatly inside. My hands felt cold. I pulled it out slowly. There was no name on it. No writing. just sealed. I stared at it for a few seconds. Then I opened it. Inside, there were papers. Printed papers. I unfolded them. And the moment I started reading, my stomach dropped. It was a bank statement. But not one I recognized. It wasn't our joint account. It wasn't any account I knew about. It was in Emily's name. A separate account. And the balance? It wasn't small. Not even close. There was a lot of money in there. More than I expected. More than I could explain. My mind started racing. Okay, maybe it's savings, I thought. Maybe she just didn't mention it. But then I looked closer. At the transactions. And that's when things got worse. There were regular transfers. Large ones. Moving money out of that account. Every month. Same date. Same amount. Sent to another account. An account with a name I didn't recognize. I read it again. And again. Trying to make sense of it. But it didn't make sense. Not at all. My hands were shaking now. I flipped to the next paper. Another statement. Same account. More transactions. More transfers. And then, I saw something that made my chest tighten. A note. Handwritten. At the bottom of one page. Just a few words. But enough. Final payment soon. Then it's done. I froze. My brain tried to process it. Final payment? Done? Done with what? What was this? What was Emily involved in? I leaned back slowly, sitting on the couch, the paper still in my hands. The house felt different now. Quiet, but not peaceful. Heavy. Like the walls were hiding something. And for the first time, I felt it clearly. Lily wasn't just being a kid. She knew something. Something I didn't. And suddenly, I remembered something. A moment from a few days ago. Lily had been drawing in the living room. Emily was on the phone in the kitchen. I didn't think much of it at the time. But now, I remembered Lily looking up. Watching her mom. Quiet. Too quiet. Kids notice things. More than we think. I looked down at the papers again. This wasn't just about money. This was something bigger. Something hidden. And the worst part? Emily never said a word about any of it. Not once. 9 years of marriage. And this whole thing existed without me knowing. I stood up slowly. Walked back to the drawer. Put everything back exactly how I found it. Closed it. Because right now, I didn't want Emily to know that I knew. Not yet. I needed to think. I needed to understand. I needed to figure out what this really was. I walked to the window and looked outside. The street was empty. Dark. Still. But inside me, nothing was still anymore. Everything was moving. Questions. Doubts. Fear. And something else. Something I didn't want to admit. Distrust. For the first time in my life, I didn't trust my wife. And that realization hurt more than anything I had just found. Behind me I heard a soft sound. A door opening. I turned slowly. Emily was standing in the hallway. Half asleep. Looking at me. "Daniel," she said softly. "Why are you awake?" My heart skipped. I forced a small smile. Just couldn't sleep. She walked closer. "Everything okay?" I looked at her. Really looked at her. The woman I thought I knew. The woman I trusted. The mother of my child. And in that moment, I didn't know what to say. Because I didn't know who she really was anymore. "Yeah," I said quietly. "Everything's fine." She nodded, tired. "Come back to bed," she said. I followed her. Laid down beside her. But I didn't sleep. Not even for a second. Because now, I had seen something I couldn't unsee. And I knew. This was just the beginning. The next morning didn't feel like a normal morning. Nothing had changed, but everything felt different. Laura was in the kitchen making coffee like she always did. Calm. Relaxed. Like the night before never happened. Like I didn't open that drawer. Like I didn't see those pictures. Those notes. My name written over and over again like I was some kind of project. "Morning," she said without even looking at me. "Morning," I replied. My voice sounded normal. But inside, nothing was normal anymore. Emily was already at the table, quietly eating her breakfast. She didn't look at me right away. But when she finally did, there was something in her eyes. She was waiting. Waiting to see if I believed her. Waiting to see if I understood. I gave her a small nod. Very slight. But enough. Her face didn't change much. But I saw it. Relief. Just a little. Laura turned around and placed a cup of coffee in front of me. "You're quiet today," she said. I shrugged. "Just tired." She studied me for a second. Too carefully. "Did you sleep okay?" she asked. "Yeah," I said. "Why wouldn't I?" Another pause. Longer this time. Then she smiled. Just asking. But that smile felt fake, forced, like she was checking something, like she was trying to read me. And in that moment, I realized something important. She was watching me, the same way Emily said she watches everything. Carefully, quietly, like she was always aware. I took a sip of coffee, trying to act normal, trying not to show anything. Because now I understood one thing clearly. Something was really going on. I couldn't let her know I knew. Not yet. Hey, Laura said casually. I might go out later today. I looked up. Where? Just errands, she replied quickly. Too quickly. What kind of errands? She smiled again. Do I need to give you a full report now? That tone. Light, but defensive. I shook my head. No, just asking. Emily stayed silent the whole time. But I could feel her listening. Watching. Just like me. After breakfast, Laura went upstairs. A few minutes later, I heard the shower. Again. Same routine. Same timing. Everything looked normal. But now I knew. Normal didn't mean safe. I waited a few seconds. Then I looked at Emily. She always showers at the same time? I asked quietly. Emily nodded. Every day. Does she lock the bedroom when she's inside? Emily shook her head. No, but she closes it. I nodded slowly. That meant one thing. I had another chance. Stay here, I told her. She grabbed my hand again. Dad, be careful. Those words, they weren't something a child should have to say. But she meant them. I nodded. I will. I stood up and walked toward the stairs. Every step felt heavier than before. Because this time, I wasn't just checking. I was looking for answers. Real answers. I reached the top and paused. The sound of the shower was loud. That was good. It would cover any small noise. I walked to the bedroom door. It was slightly closed. Just like Emily said. I pushed it open slowly. The room looked exactly the same as last night. Clean. Quiet. Nothing out of place. But now I knew better. I walked straight to the dresser. No hesitation this time. My hand went to the drawer. And I opened it. Again. Same items. Same arrangement. But this time, I didn't stop at looking. I started moving things. Carefully. One by one. Making sure I could put everything back exactly as it was. Then I reached the back. And there it was again. The hidden section. I pulled it open fully this time. And my heart started beating faster immediately. The pictures. More than I expected. Dozens. Maybe more. All of me. Walking. Driving. Standing outside the house. Even at work. Some taken from far away. Some closer. Too close. I picked one up. It was me, talking on the phone outside my office. I didn't even remember that moment. Which meant, someone was watching me without me knowing. For a long time. I swallowed hard. This wasn't just strange anymore. This was serious. Very serious. I put the picture back. Then picked up the papers. The notes Emily mentioned. And she was right. They were detailed. Times. Locations. Dates. My routine, written like a schedule. Leaves home, 8:10 a.m. Returns, 6:35 p.m. Gym, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Everything. Every detail. My chest felt tight. Why would my own wife track me like this? This wasn't normal behavior. This wasn't concern. This was something else. Something darker. Then I saw something new. A folded paper. Different from the rest. I opened it slowly. And what I saw made my hands freeze. It was a map. A printed map of our neighborhood. With marks on it. Red circles. Lines. Paths. Leading from my office. To my home. To other places I visited. I stared at it. Trying to understand. But the more I looked, the worse it felt. This wasn't random. This was planned. Carefully planned. And then, I noticed something else. A small black box. Exactly where Emily said it would be. Locked. My heart started pounding. This had to be important. Very important. I picked it up. Shook it slightly. Something was inside. Small. But solid. I looked around quickly. Then checked the drawer again. And that's when I found it. A tiny key. Hidden under a stack of papers. I picked it up. My fingers felt cold. This was it. The moment. I looked toward the bathroom. The shower was still running. No time to think. I inserted the key. Turned it slowly. Click. The lock opened. I hesitated for just a second. Then lifted the lid. Inside. There were only 3 things. A USB drive. A small folded paper. A ring. I frowned. The ring didn't make sense. It wasn't Laura's. I had never seen it before. Simple. Silver. One. Like it belonged to someone else. I picked up the paper first, unfolded it, and the moment I read the first line, my blood went cold. Phase 3 begins soon. I stopped breathing for a second. Phase. What phase? What was this? I kept reading. Everything is ready. He still doesn't suspect anything. My hands started shaking. He. That meant me. This was about me. No doubt now. No confusion. This was real. And whatever was happening, I was part of it. Without even knowing. I quickly folded the paper back. Then grabbed the USB drive. Stared at it. Whatever was inside. It had answers. It had to. But I didn't have time to check it now. Not here. Not with Laura just a few feet away. I put everything back exactly as I found it. Closed the box. Locked it. Placed the key back. Arranged the drawer perfectly. Closed it. Then stepped away. Just in time. Because a second later, the shower stopped. My heart was racing now. Faster than ever. I moved quickly to the bed. Pretending to look for something. The bathroom door opened. Steam filled the room. Laura walked out. Towel in her hair. Same as yesterday. Same calm expression. But now, I saw something different. Something I missed before. Control. She looked at me. What are you doing? She asked. I didn't hesitate this time. My charger, I said. Again. She stared at me. Longer than normal. Then slowly nodded. You should really keep your things in one place, she said. I forced a small smile. Yeah, probably. She walked past me. Like nothing happened. Like everything was normal. But it wasn't. Not anymore. Because now I knew. This wasn't just secrets. This wasn't just lies. This was a plan. A real plan. And somehow, I was in the center of it. Without knowing why. Without knowing how far it went. But one thing was clear now. Emily didn't just warn me. She saved me. And whatever was coming next, I needed to be ready. My hands were still shaking when I closed that drawer. I wish I could say I stayed calm, that I handled everything like a strong man. But the truth is, something inside me cracked in that moment. I stood there in our bedroom, staring at that hidden space like it was staring back at me. The air felt heavy. Quiet, too quiet. I slowly picked up the small black phone. It was cheap. Not like our phones. No case. No pictures. No personal touch. Just a tool. I pressed the power button. It turned on. No password. That was the first strange thing. Who keeps a secret phone with no password? My heart started beating faster as I opened the messages. And then, everything changed. There were only 3 contacts saved. No names. Just numbers. I opened the first chat. Short messages. Cold messages. Did he find out? Not yet. Be careful. He's not stupid. My chest tightened. That was me. They were talking about me. I scrolled more. Dates, weeks, months. This wasn't new. This had been going on for a long time. My fingers felt numb as I opened the second chat. This one was worse. Photos. Not normal photos. Pictures of documents, bank papers, insurance files. My files. My name. My signatures. I didn't understand. Why did she have these here? Why send them to someone else? I swallowed hard and opened the third chat. And that's when my world really broke. Voice notes. I pressed play. Her voice. My wife. Emily. Soft. Calm. Almost emotionless. Everything is going as planned. He still trusts me. I froze. My entire body went cold. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. I played it again. He still trusts me. Those words hit harder the second time. And then the next voice note came. A man's voice. Quiet. Good. Don't rush. The longer it takes, the better it is for us. Not her. Not me. My legs felt weak. I sat down on the edge of the bed without even realizing it. This wasn't just lying. This wasn't just secrets. This was something bigger. Something planned. Something dangerous. My daughter's voice suddenly echoed in my mind. Don't trust Mom. I closed my eyes. She knew. She knew something was wrong, and I ignored her. I thought she was being dramatic. I thought she was confused. I thought she was wrong. But she wasn't. She was trying to warn me. And I didn't listen. I looked back at the phone. There were more voice notes. I didn't want to hear them. But I had to. I pressed play again. Emily's voice lower this time. After everything is done, we leave. No mistakes. Leave. Leave where? With who? The man replied. Don't worry. I've already arranged everything. My heart dropped. Everything? What everything? I felt like I was inside a nightmare, but I was awake. Every second felt heavy. Every word felt like a knife. I kept scrolling. There were dates marked. Important days. Highlighted. One of them, circled. 3 days from now. I stared at it. What was happening in 3 days? My mind started racing. I stood up quickly, pacing the room. Think, think, think. This wasn't just cheating. This wasn't just betrayal. This felt like a plan, against me. I walked to the mirror and looked at myself. I didn't recognize the man staring back. Same face. Same eyes. But something was different. Something was broken. Something was awake. For the first time. I wasn't blind. I wasn't trusting. I was seeing the truth. And it was ugly. Very ugly. I picked up the phone again and checked the gallery. More photos. But this time, pictures of me. From far away. At work. At the store. Even outside our house. I stepped back in shock. Why were there photos of me like this? Who took them? My stomach twisted. Was someone watching me? Was it her? My own wife. I couldn't understand it. Nothing made sense, but everything felt wrong. I suddenly heard a noise downstairs. The front door. My heart jumped. Emily. She was back. I quickly turned off the phone and put everything back exactly how I found it. Drawer closed. Clothes placed. Nothing moved. I wiped my hands on my jeans. Trying to look normal. Trying to breathe. Footsteps. Slow. Calm. Like always. I walked out of the bedroom just as she reached the stairs. She looked at me. Smiled. The same smile. The one I trusted for years. Hey, she said softly. You're home early. I looked at her. Really looked at her. And for the first time, I didn't see my wife. I saw a stranger. A stranger who knew everything about me. And was hiding everything from me. Yeah, I said quietly. Work was slow. She nodded, walking past me. So, what did you do all day? She asked. A simple question. Normal. But now, it felt like a test. I forced a small smile. Nothing much. She stopped for a second. Just a second. Then continued walking. That tiny pause said everything. She was thinking. Watching. Measuring my words. She turned back slightly. You okay? She asked. I nodded. Yeah. Just tired. She smiled again. Get some rest. And just like that, she walked away. Calm. Normal. Perfect. Like nothing was wrong. But everything was wrong. I stood there alone in the hallway. My heart still racing. My mind still spinning. I knew one thing now. This wasn't over. Not even close. And for the first time, I wasn't the one who didn't know. Now I knew. And that changed everything. I slowly walked to the living room and sat down. My hands were steady now. My thoughts, clearer. Fear was still there. But something else had replaced it. Something stronger. Something dangerous. Awareness. I looked toward the stairs where she had gone. And quietly, under my breath, I said, I'm not blind anymore. And this time, I meant it. That night, I didn't sleep. Not even for a minute. I lay on the bed, staring at the ceiling, while Emily slept next to me like nothing in the world was wrong. Her breathing was calm, slow, peaceful. And I kept thinking, how can someone sleep like this, after hiding something so big? I turned my head slightly and looked at her. Same face. Same woman I trusted for years. But now, I knew the truth. Or at least, part of it. And the worst part? I still didn't know everything. That circled date in the phone, 3 days from now. That was stuck in my head. Whatever they were planning. It was coming soon. Very soon. I slowly got out of bed, careful not to wake her. Every small sound felt loud. Every step felt dangerous. I walked out of the bedroom and closed the door quietly. The house felt different at night. Dark, cold, silent. I went to the kitchen and poured myself a glass of water. My hands were steady, but inside, everything was moving fast. Think. Don't panic. Think. I needed a plan. I couldn't just confront her. Not yet. If I say something too early, she will hide everything. Delete everything. Disappear. No. I needed to be smarter. For the first time in years, I had to stop being the good husband and start being careful. Very careful. I sat down and took a deep breath. Then I took out my phone. There was only one person I trusted right now. My daughter, Lily. I stared at her name for a few seconds. I felt guilty. She tried to warn me. And I didn't listen. I typed a message. Are you awake? I waited. 5 seconds. 10 seconds. Then, typing. Yes, Dad. I swallowed hard. Can we talk? She replied immediately. I knew something was wrong. My heart dropped. She knew. Of course she knew. I stood up and walked to the back of the house. Lower voice. More privacy. I called her. She picked up instantly. Dad. Her voice was soft, but serious. You saw it, didn't you? I closed my eyes. Yeah. Silence. Heavy silence. Then she spoke again. I told you. There was no anger in her voice. No, I told you so. Just sadness. I'm sorry, I said quietly. I should have listened to you. Another pause. Then she said something that made my chest tighten. I didn't know how to prove it. What do you mean? I asked. I've seen her acting strange for months, Lily said. Late night calls, hiding her phone, leaving the house without telling anyone. My grip on the phone tightened. She told me once to stay out of her room, Lily continued. And she never says that. Never. I leaned against the wall. Everything she was saying matched what I saw. Every piece, connecting. Why didn't you tell me everything before? I asked. I tried, she said softly. But you always defended her. That hurt. Because it was true. I stayed quiet. I didn't want to fight with you, she added. I just wanted you to be careful. Careful. That word stayed in my head. I found something today, I said slowly. What? She asked. A phone, I replied. Hidden in her drawer. Silence again. But this time, different. More serious. What was in it? She asked. I took a deep breath. Messages, photos, voice notes. I paused. She's not alone in this, Lily. What do you mean? Her voice dropped. There's a man, I said. The line went quiet for a second. Then, I knew it. I closed my eyes. You knew? I asked. I didn't know for sure, she said. But I had a feeling. My chest felt heavy again. She's planning something, Dad, Lily said quickly. I don't know what, but it's not good. I know, I replied. There's a date. 3 days from now. What? She said. Something is going to happen that day, I continued. I just don't know what. Then we need to find out, Lily said. That word gave me strength. I wasn't alone anymore. What should we do? I asked. For the first time. I was asking my daughter for help. She didn't hesitate. Don't let her know that you know, she said. Act normal. I can do that, I replied. And try to get more information, she added. Check that phone again. See if there's anything about that date. I nodded. Okay. And Dad, she said softly. Yeah. Be careful. I looked toward the stairs. Toward the room where Emily was sleeping. I will, I said. We ended the call. I stood there for a moment, alone again. But not the same kind of alone. Now I had a plan. Now I had someone on my side. I walked back toward the living room. But then, I heard something. A small sound. From upstairs. My heart stopped. Was she awake? Did she hear me? I slowly walked toward the stairs. Each step, slow, careful. The house was silent again. Too silent. I reached the top of the stairs. The bedroom door was slightly open. A soft light coming from inside. My heart started beating faster. She wasn't asleep anymore. I moved closer. Quiet. Very quiet. And then, I heard her voice. Oh, whispering. On the phone. Yes, he's still in the dark. I froze. Every muscle in my body locked. He doesn't suspect anything, she continued. My chest tightened. She paused. Listening. No, everything is under control. Control. That word hit hard. I leaned slightly closer to the door, trying not to make a sound. Then the man's voice came through faintly. I couldn't hear everything, but I heard enough. 3 days, he said. Be ready. My stomach dropped. 3 days. It was real. It wasn't just a guess. It was happening. Emily spoke again. I will. Her voice was calm, cold, confident. Like she had done this before. Like this was normal. I stepped back slowly. My heart racing. My mind spinning again. But this time, I wasn't confused. Now I knew one thing for sure. Something big was coming. Something planned. Something dangerous. And I had only 3 days to stop it. I went back downstairs and sat in the dark. No lights. No noise. Just me and my thoughts. Fear was still there. But it wasn't controlling me anymore. Now, I was ready. Ready to watch. Ready to listen. Ready to find the truth. No matter what it was. And this time, I wasn't going to ignore the warning. Not again. The next morning, Everything felt normal. Too normal. Emily was in the kitchen making coffee like she always did. Soft music playing. Sunlight coming through the window. If someone walked in, they would think this was a happy home. But I knew better now. I walked in slowly. She looked at me and smiled. "Good morning." Same voice. Same warmth. Same lie. "Morning," I replied. I sat down at the table watching her carefully. Every move. Every expression. Every small detail. She handed me a cup of coffee. "Rough night?" she asked. I took the cup. "Yeah, couldn't sleep much." She nodded like she understood. But she didn't. Not really. Because if she knew what I knew, she wouldn't be this calm. Or maybe, that's exactly why she was calm. I forced myself to act normal. Eat normally. Talk normally. Breathe normally. Inside, I was counting time. 2 days left. Just 2. After breakfast, she grabbed her bag. "I have a long day," she said. "Might be late." Of course. Late. More lies. "Okay," I said simply. She walked toward the door, then stopped. Turned around. Looked at me. For a second, her eyes felt different. Like she was checking something. "Everything okay?" she asked. That question again. That same test. I nodded. "Yeah." She smiled. Then left. The door closed. And the silence came back. I waited. 1 minute. 2 minutes. 3. Then I stood up. It was time. I went straight to the bedroom. Opened the drawer again. Everything was still there. Good. I took the secret phone and turned it on. This time, I looked deeper. Not just messages. Not just voice notes. Everything. Settings. Gallery. Hidden files. I wasn't going to miss anything. I opened the gallery again. Scrolled slowly. Carefully. And then, I saw something new. A video. Short. Only 12 seconds. My heart started beating faster. I pressed play. It was inside our house. The living room. Camera placed somewhere hidden. I watched myself. Walking. Talking on my phone. Completely unaware. I stopped breathing. She was recording me. Inside my own house. Without me knowing. I felt anger rise inside me. Hot. Sure. But I controlled it. Not now. I kept watching. At the end of the video. A voice. "The man. Perfect," he said. The video ended. My hands tightened around the phone. This wasn't just betrayal. This was planned. Carefully planned. I went back to the messages. Scrolled more. And then I found it. A message from yesterday. "Final step is ready." Below it, a file. I opened it. A document. My name on top. My eyes moved quickly across the page. And then, I froze. Insurance. Life insurance. A large amount. Very large. My stomach dropped. I kept reading. Beneficiary. Emily. My wife. My breath became heavy. Was this? No. No. I didn't want to think it. But everything was pointing to it. The photos. The recordings. The planning. The secret calls. The date. 3 days. I stepped back slowly. My mind racing. This wasn't just about leaving me. This wasn't about cheating. This was something darker. Much darker. I grabbed the edge of the table to steady myself. Think. Stay calm. Don't panic. I quickly took pictures of everything with my phone. Every message. Every file. Every proof. Something happens. I need this. I put the secret phone back exactly where it was. Closed the drawer. Took a deep breath. Then I stepped out of the room. My heart was still racing. But now, I had something stronger than fear. Truth. And truth changes everything. I sat down and called Lily again. She picked up immediately. "Dad." "I found more," I said. "What?" Her voice filled with worry. I paused. "This is bigger than we thought." "Tell me," she said quickly. I explained everything. The videos. The documents. The insurance. There was silence on the other side. Long silence. Then she whispered, "Oh my God." "Yeah," I said quietly. "What are you going to do?" she asked. I looked toward the window. The world outside looked normal. Cars passing. People walking. Like nothing was wrong. But my world was falling apart. "I don't know yet," I said honestly. "We need help," Lily said. "From who?" "Someone who understands this," she replied. I thought for a moment. Then one name came to my mind. An old friend. Daniel. We hadn't talked in years. But he used to work in security. Smart. Careful. The kind of person who sees things others don't. "I know someone," I said. "Call him," Lily said immediately. "I will." And Dad? Yeah. Don't stay alone tonight. I stayed quiet. I'll be careful, I said. No, she said firmly. I'm serious. I know, I replied. We're running out of time. That was the truth. Time was the biggest problem now. Only 2 days left. After the call, I sat there for a long time. Thinking. Planning. Breathing slowly. I finally picked up my phone and searched for Daniel's number. It was still there. I stared at it. Then pressed call. It rang. Once. Twice. Then he answered. Hello. Daniel, it's me. Pause. Mark? Yeah. Another pause. It's been a long time, he said. I know, I replied. I need your help. My voice was serious. Heavy. He noticed immediately. What's going on? He asked. I looked around the empty house. Then said slowly. I think someone is planning something against me. Silence. Then his voice changed. More focused. More alert. Start from the beginning, he said. And I did. I told him everything. Every detail. No hiding. No skipping. When I finished, there was a long pause. Then he said something that made my chest tighten. Mark, this is serious. I know. No, he said. You don't understand. My grip on the phone tightened. What do you mean? He took a breath. This isn't just betrayal, he said. This looks like a setup. Setup. That word echoed in my mind. And if we're right, he continued, then you're in danger. I closed my eyes. Danger. The word I didn't want to hear. But the one I already felt. I need you to stay calm, Daniel said. I am. Good, he replied. Because the next 48 hours are very important. 48 hours. Time was moving fast. Too fast. I'm coming to you, he said. When? Tonight. I nodded. Okay. And Mark? Yeah. Trust no one. I looked toward the bedroom. Toward the drawer. Toward the truth. I already learned that, I said quietly. The call ended. And I sat there in silence. Everything was clear now. This wasn't just a broken marriage. This was something else. Something dangerous. Something planned. And I was right in the middle of it. But this time, I wasn't the same man. I wasn't blind. I wasn't weak. I was ready. Ready to face whatever was coming. Even if it changed everything. That night, everything changed. Not slowly. Not softly. All at once. I was sitting in the living room, lights off just like the night before. Waiting. Listening. Thinking. Every small sound felt louder than normal. Every second felt heavier. The headlights. Outside. A car stopped in front of the house. I stood up slowly and looked through the window. It was Daniel. Right on time. I opened the door before he even knocked. He stepped in, serious face, sharp eyes. Same as I remembered. Mark, he said quietly. Daniel. We didn't shake hands. This wasn't that kind of meeting. He walked inside and looked around. Careful. Observing. Where is she? He asked. Not home yet, I replied. He nodded. Good. We don't have much time. I showed him everything. The drawer. The phone. The messages. The videos. He didn't talk much while looking. Just focused. Calm. But I could see it in his face. This was bad. Very bad. After a few minutes he put the phone down and looked at me. You were right, he said. My stomach tightened. How bad is it? I asked. He took a deep breath. They've been watching you, tracking your routine, collecting your documents. I stayed silent. And that date, he continued. That's not random. I know, I said. He looked straight into my eyes. They're planning to make something happen to you. There it was. The truth. Clear. Cold. Heavy. I didn't speak for a few seconds. Then I asked quietly, can we stop it? He didn't answer immediately. He thought. Calculated. Yes, he said finally. But we have to be smart. I'm ready, I said. He nodded. Good. Because this ends in 2 ways. He paused. Either they win, or you do. I didn't even think. We stopped them. He gave a small nod. All right. We made a plan. Simple. Careful. No mistakes. Tomorrow we watch. We follow. We record. We gather proof. And on the 3rd day, we act. No fear. No hesitation. Just truth. Daniel left around midnight. Before leaving, he looked at me and said one last thing. Don't trust anything she says tomorrow. I nodded. I won't. Then he was gone. And I was alone again. But not the same kind of alone. No. I had control. The next day, I acted normal, just like before. Emily came home late, smiling, talking, living her fake life. I watched her, every move, every word, but I didn't react, not once. Inside, I was counting time. 1 day left. That night, she made another call. I heard it again. Same words, same calm voice. Everything is ready. My heart stayed steady this time. No panic, no fear, just focus. The final day came. The circled date. I woke up early, before her, before the sun. Today, everything would be revealed. I stayed quiet, waited, watched. She woke up, got ready quickly, dressed differently, more careful, more planned. I have an important meeting, she said. Of course. I nodded. Good luck. She smiled, then left. 5 minutes later, I left too. Daniel was already waiting in his car. We followed her, careful, keeping distance. She didn't notice. She drove across town, then stopped. An empty area, old building, quiet, no people around. My chest tightened. This is it, Daniel said. We parked far away. Watch. A few minutes later, another car arrived. A man stepped out. Same voice. I knew it, even before hearing him again. They met, talked, come, like this was normal. Daniel took out a camera, recorded everything, every second, every word. We moved closer, slowly, carefully, and then, we heard it, clear. No mistakes today, the man said. Emily nodded. He trusts me completely. Those words, again. But this time, I wasn't the same man. Daniel looked at me. This is enough, he whispered. I nodded. We stepped forward, out of the shadows. Both of them froze. Shock on their faces. Real shock. Emily's eyes went wide. Mark? Her voice broke. For the first time. She wasn't in control. Not anymore. I looked at her. Come, Colt. You should have listened to my daughter, I said. Silence. Heavy. The man tried to step back. Daniel moved fast. Stopped him. No one is leaving, Daniel said firmly. I took out my phone. Showed the recordings. The messages. Everything. It's over, I said. Emily's face changed. Fear. Real fear. Mark. I can explain. No, I said quietly. No more lies. Tears filled her eyes. But this time, they meant nothing. Because truth doesn't care about tears. Sirens. In the distance. Getting closer. Daniel had already called them. Smart. Prepared. Finished. The man tried to speak. Tried to escape. But it was too late. Everything was over. Police arrived. Questions. Arrest. Noise. Chaos. But inside me, there was peace. Real peace. Because I finally knew the truth. And I didn't run from it. Later that night, I sat alone. Same house. Same room. But everything felt different. Lighter. Quieter. Real. My phone buzzed. Lily. I answered immediately. Dad? Her voice was shaking. It's over, I said softly. Silence. Then, are you okay? I looked around. Took a deep breath. Yeah, I said. For the first time. I really am. She didn't say anything for a moment. Then, I'm proud of you. Those words hit differently. In a good way. Thank you, I said quietly. After the call, I sat back and closed my eyes, thinking about everything. The warning, the drawer, the truth. And one simple thing became clear. Sometimes, the people we trust the most hide the darkest secrets. But sometimes, the smallest voice, like a daughter's warning, can save your life. I opened my eyes, looked forward, and for the first time in a long time, I wasn't afraid of what comes next. Because now, I see everything clearly. What started as a small warning from my daughter turned out to be the truth that saved my life. I thought she was just confused, maybe overthinking, but she saw what I refused to see. One hidden drawer, one secret phone, and everything changed. The trust one had for years was broken in seconds. But sometimes, truth doesn't come to hurt you. It comes to wake you up. And that day, I finally woke up. I lost a relationship, but I saved my life. And most importantly, I didn't ignore the voice that truly cared about me. So if something ever feels wrong, don't ignore it. Look closer. Because the truth is always there, waiting. And sometimes, it's hiding right in front of you. If you enjoyed this story and want more real, emotional, and suspenseful stories like this, Make sure you subscribe to the channel and stay with us for the next one.